Hey class, my name is Patrick Rule. I'm an IT major with a concentration in game development and integrated digital media, and I'm a senior. Should be graduating in December of this year, assuming all of my classes fall in the right places at the right time. Um, Even though I have two concentrations, the main one is definitely game development. The other one was kind of tacked on last minute because a lot of the classes overlap, and so it's very convenient to have it there. As far as my experience with digital media goes, I've dabbled in a lot of things, but the main two I focus on right now, at least, is live streaming with like Twitch.tv, if you've ever heard of that, and Photoshop because I do some graphic design work. An interesting fact about me: I actually volunteer with a charity group called the Speed Gamers. We call it TSG for short. And we put on video game marathons to benefit charity. We live stream the event several times a year. We raise money to give to a lot of different charities. Most notably, I guess, like St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and like Direct Relief International are two that we raise money for a lot. We've been operating for about 9 years now, and I believe our donation total has just crossed the $600,000 mark, which is really cool. But what I do for them is I make the assets to use on Twitch. So you have all these elements like the video feed of the game that's being played, and then the video feed of the commentators because they are people interacting with the live chat, and then you have extra information like, oh, what are some donation incentives? What's the donation total? You know, what are they doing next? What game is being played after the game that they're currently playing is being finished? And so I have to figure out where all of these elements are going on the screen, and then usually make some sort of overlay for all of that information so that it looks cohesive. For example, actually, I'm using streaming software to record this, so I can just adjust the size of this camera here. Was it this one? I think, yeah, this is one. Our most recent marathon was actually a Pokemon Sun and Moon marathon. Those are the most recent Pokemon games that came out, and so we had a marathon for it last December. So yeah, even less than a month ago. Wow, it feels like a really long time. And so it was my job to essentially make what you see here. You have the commentator video on the top left, the game on the top right, because the game is actually on a 3DS. It has two screens, so you need space for two screens. Top screen on the top, that's the larger one, and then the bottom screen, the touch screen on the bottom. And then you have two areas at the bottom. The yellow area is kind of like a billboard with scrolling information like sponsors that we have, donation incentives. And then the green area is more an information area. They have how many Pokemon they've captured. Those are the two figures there because one of them was total and then one of them was for a specific region, I think. And then the names of the people playing or commentating over to the right side. And then you can't see it on the screenshot, but there is actually a space in the green where someone would donate, a little notification would like pop up from the bottom. So it was pretty cool. But that's my job with them, is to put all of these elements in Photoshop, figure out the spacing, figure out how the viewer is going to look at different elements, which ones are more important, which ones should be larger, color choice, things like that. Because I am a game development major, I also dabble in game mods. Like, for example, there's a game called Crypto the Necrodancer on Steam. It's pretty cool. And I made a mod for it that changes all of the visuals to something Mario related. This is a screenshot of all the different enemies and whatnot. So all of these things I drew myself in Photoshop because it's pixel art, and then I figured out how to put it into the game. So I reskinned all of the enemies, all of the characters, most of the HUD elements like the hearts and the coins and things like that. Here's another picture of the game where I'm actually playing the mod that I made. So kind of my specialty is just taking all of these different things I've learned and applying it all together and trying to figure out how they all mix, because I had to figure out how to recode some of the files in the games to accept the files that I was making. I had to make the sprites, which meant learning some animation. I had to use Photoshop, and Photoshop is really freaking complicated, um, and just kind of stuff like that. So that's what I like doing. As far as what I want to get out of the semester, honestly, I'm not sure. There are a lot of digital mediums that I've never played around with yet, and so I guess my hope is that I'll get to play around with some of them and learn some more about stuff that I didn't know before. So I'm looking forward to this class. I'm looking forward to this semester, and I hope we can all make some really cool stuff. See ya.